people have these certain expectations of what you're supposed to be or be able to do as whatever that identity is. So with being Hispanic, the expectation is that you're going to speak the language, which I obviously don't. On one end, you have people who don't think that you're Hispanic just because, you know, you can't speak Spanish. I remember when I was working at a vet, when was this? This was probably like my sophomore, junior year of college here. When I went home, I was working at a vet. And this woman got really angry with me because she asked me if I was Hispanic. And I said yes. And she started talking to me in Spanish. And I waited for, I understand enough because my grandparents speak it. And I've heard it a lot. So I know basic phrases. And I did take a couple semesters of Spanish. So I know the basics. And I waited and I told her politely that I don't speak Spanish. And then she looked so angry and like I was just this big disgrace and just said, why you no learn? How come you don't know? How come you don't know? And just started like yelling at me in the vet's office. And I just ignored her. And especially because, you know, I'm on the other end of customer service, and as much as you want to tell people off, sometimes you cannot do it and you have to have your happy smile on. And I did that. I handed her her receipt and just ignored her. And the whole time when I was getting her receipt together, she was talking crap about me to her husband in Spanish. And I knew what she was saying. I know all the swear words. I'm not. So I was just listening to her call me a disgrace and all of these things. And then I handed it to her. She's like, thank you. I mean, gracias. And then she walked away. And, you know, so like, and on the other end of it, I have people who just assume that I speak Spanish. And I don't know how many times this has happened to me where they're like, Abby, do you know what the Spanish word is for insert word here? Because you speak Spanish, right? It's always an assumption. There's never like a question first of, do you speak Spanish? Because to me, that's an innocent question. If somebody, to me, it's an innocent question of, okay, I look Hispanic, you know I'm Hispanic. I mean, my last name is as Hispanic as it gets, you know? So to me, it's an innocent question to ask me whether or not I speak Spanish. So asking me, do I speak Spanish versus you speak Spanish, right? Those are two different things, in my opinion, because that's an assumption. And then there have been instances before where somebody's needed a translator and they're like, oh, Abby speaks Spanish. I'm like, I don't speak Spanish. I don't know how many times I've told people that in my life. So that's kind of the negative thing with not only being Hispanic, but especially looking that way.